Hey everyone, welcome back to another podcast with The Whole Truth. Today's podcast is part 3 of the previous ones I've just done as regards to Juliana and Brad and the issues that they're having at the moment. So he's got a job now, but he's not putting in as much as she'd like him to. And we've just finished it where she said that, like at the moment, if you want to help her, every handbag sale counts, like every product sale counts. So very interesting that she's begging for sales if she's a millionaire, right? But anywho, I just wanted to say as well, I apologize for the last podcast because while I was filming it, I thought I was like super stealth because I had a packet of these TV snacks. I have them in a Krispy Kreme flavor now. Oh, they're so good. And I was like, oh, while I'm playing Juliana, I'll just have a little munch. And when I played it back, I could hear myself munching and I could even hear my hand going to the cookie pack. And then I'm like talking and you can tell I have food in my mouth. So I'm really sorry. That was so rude. But anyways, I'll just do a little recap here. And just, this is where we left off. Okay.
I don't know. I'm working hard. That's why every single bag sale, every single order on my website, like, it means a lot because leaving him, I was building an account that works under him for several years and lost that.
All right, so she hasn't actually lost that account. Now, that might be an excuse for her to try and say, well, I'm not making as much money as I used to because, I don't have this account anymore. It's been closed. It hasn't been closed. That account was set up by her in Brad's name. So a lot of them get told, set up under your husband's name, even though I don't think they're actually supposed to do that. Like their husband would have to be an active distributor, but they just take the reins and sort of like do it for their husbands. But unless Brad rang up and was like, hey, It Works Compliance, like, I don't own this account, shut it down. Like, It Works Compliance, they are shit. They don't do anything. Like, there has been so many complaints put through them. I have seen the emails myself, and they blatantly lie to the next person and go, oh, we haven't had any complaints about this person before. Bullshit. But anyway, obviously they've got to protect the people that are making them the most money. We're not going to act like It Works as this, like, really high moral company. Like, we know based on what the business is based on that that's not the case at all, But, I don't think Brad would have rang up. This is the reason why she's lost the money is not because this account closed, it's because she has not been getting people to enroll for her. And like that girl that just left, Jessica, like not Jessica Hickson, it's another girl that does like the candles and everything. Like she was saying, like Juliana wasn't doing anything. Everyone was doing everything underneath her for her. And these people have gotten jack of it and they're leaving. And that's why she hasn't got the same income now because there's not anyone underneath her to make all the money for her. Well, there's people underneath her, but not as many people. But I just want to show as well, I did talk about in the last one, I feel like I just blubbered on about it. I wasn't really making any sense. So I've got the numbers here. So with the income disclosure, there have been lots of It Works people that were like, hey, I thought I'd be getting paid this amount because the income disclosure is saying that this is how much I would get. Like this is the low rate, this is a medium, this is a high one. And a lot of the time, the low rate is actually what you're getting at that rank. And then you've got to add your bonuses on top of it. So it's very misleading because on that income disclosure, it'll have like your smallest amount, medium, and then there's the largest one. But they're actually including the whole price for your bonuses. And the bonuses are paid over, like each month over a 24-month period. So let's go back when, Juliana, she did say she was making $30,000 there one month. And then like later on, she was like, oh, I was making $50K back then. We know she likes to exaggerate. She did the same thing with Brad and his gambling addiction. Like last live, it was like, he's gambled $50,000 and now it's close to 100K. So Brad's been busy with the credit card. Anyways, when I looked at it, say for example, she was making 40K. Let's meet in the middle, okay, 40K. We know she was at 16th was her best. And from what I have been told, from what other distributors have said, there was a top 10, like a number 10 distributor, and they were making $13,000, okay? So Juliana being 16th, I can assume that the best she was making, maybe 10K was like the best she was making, all right? But she's like, I'm making all this money with extra. So she's making $40,000. Let's pretend it was $40,000. It's actually the bonuses. If you look on the income disclosure, that high amount is what someone earned from that month, but that's like all their bonuses put into one. It doesn't show how it's been paid over. So for example, if Juliana's making 10 grand and then she gets a bonus of 20,000 and then a bonus of 100,000. Hi guys, a future TWT just popping in here to let you know that I didn't mean to say 100,000, I meant to say 10,000. So if my math is like totally whack, that is why. I was just listening to it back and I'm like, what the hell? Why did I say 100,000? So I'm sorry, please continue. It would show her monthly high of being $40,000. But those bonuses only get paid each month over a 4-month period. And then if you don't maintain your rank, which we know she hasn't, you lose whatever remaining bonus is there. So $30,000, if you were to, what is that? $30,000, I think it works out to be about $1,200. So $30,000, let me just add up just real quick. Divided by 24 months, you're making it. So it's $1,250 a month that you're actually getting paid in the bonuses, providing you continue to maintain. So even though it shows her high as being $40,000 that she's made, in actual fact, she's only been paid $11,250. So it's nowhere close to $40,000. And then most of these people will then lose that because they can't like these goals that they have aren't really attainable. Like you might be able to get there, but then you're not going to be able to maintain them. That is the whole purpose of how these companies work. And like a lot of these girls don't understand, like they're like, oh my God, like I sign up all these people. If you listen to every single one of their sales lives and stuff, they talk about, it's always about, oh, we have the best products and push this and push that. But when it comes to their sales, like their team calls, they're like, it's all about getting distributors. It's not about the product, it's about distributors. It's about, so it is, it's a pyramid scheme if that's the case. Like they just have the product in there to make it legally not a pyramid scheme. It's still the same concept, okay? And I don't know, like I just feel like it's very misleading for the new people that do join this because they're looking at these highs and going, oh crap, like $40,000 a month, that's great. Like I'm going to be getting, $10,000 a week. It's not even near that. And we're not even talking about taking taxes off either, okay? So, her whole concept is, and I remember years ago, because Juliana thinks, like I was born yesterday, and she was like, my man works. Look how much he makes. And she sent me to this little cropped thing to show her income for the year. And one was like $320,000 for Juliana, and the other one was like $80,000 for bread. But she literally cropped what sales had gone under her for that month. Hey guys, future TWTs dropping in again to let you know that, again, I fucked up. So what I was supposed to say is of all time, not for the month. So it was $350,000 of sales that Juliana and the people below her had made, so her team had made of all time, and then his was like $180,000. This is like years ago. This is like the first year that I started my page. Like, I'm not stupid. I know how this works. So it's kind of laughable, but that's the thing. Like her followers, they're these people that will just follow blindly. They'll follow blindly. Anyways, I just thought I would probably, it was best for me to describe that properly because I kept saying, I don't know. I was trying to explain it. And then when I was talking to my husband about it last night, I was like, oh shit, I did not explain that well. So even though on that income disclosure it's showing $40,000, it's technically only like $1,200. And that was if she was like 16th, because this top 10 person in the company that's making $13,000 a month, why would she be making more than, like less than someone that's like 80th in the company? So just stop with the nonsense.
I love that song. And then just what I pay for everything on my own. And then he makes my life.
So people are saying in the comments, like, why did you lose it? Why did you lose it? But she's not answering, obviously.
More complicated by not helping with anything. So it's like I have a really busy, long work day to get everything done that I need to get done. So that's why I got emotional a couple weeks ago when I was thanking everybody for their orders, because I'm like, I feel like a lot of y'all look at me like I have it all together.
Now, this kind of seems like a scam too. One girl's like, how did you lose it? Because we're not like a exactly fantastic value for a follow of Juliana. But then that Verk girl, which we know is a boss babe, is like, if you want to help her, like, place orders from her. Well done, boss babe. You really helped her out there.
Together and like, oh, she's successful, like she really doesn't need this order, but like literally every single one counts, because I let myself go really bad for a long time. Like there was a solid like 8 months that I wasn't working my business the way I should have, and I had to pick myself up off the ground and get working again.
Someone wrote, he's lucky that I'm not there because he's gonna have 2 psycho bitches in his face. Awesome. So classy.
So I'm trying my best, but like, fuck, I just feel like so disrespected. Just like, y'all's support means the world to me. Y'all don't even have to buy from me. Just like hyping up my posts, you know, whether they're about products or like sharing them with friends, like anything. Just y'all like loving me and praying for me means everything, because a lot of people.
So she's kind of like using her friends in the same way as what you'd use your team, you know, like they have their power hours and they're like, okay, so someone's going to post, and then everybody else underneath has to go underneath it and be like, oh my God, like grab this product, do this, do that. And clearly, you know, her team that is beneath her is so over her. There's a few people on there that are still like super duper supporters. Like look at Big Red or Alexis Bettini, whatever her name is. You know, she is like a diehard. She's fucking dying over here trying to get sales and stuff. Like, you know, thank you, it works. I just put $12.50 gas in my car. Like, really, like, diehard supporter. You'd think by now either you would be smart enough to be like, you know, this $240 a month paycheck isn't really going to cut it. And, like, she's not giving anything back to her. Like, you see her on her lives all the time. She's like, I love you so much, Juliana. And Juliana doesn't even fucking acknowledge her. She does not acknowledge her. So, you know, she's lost all these people that are underneath her, because when one girl left, a lot of them left. And so she doesn't have those people on her page to like hype her up, except for like, you know, Bria and that Bria Boyd or whatever her name is. And then there's that, I can't even think of the other ones, but like, you know, she's only got a couple there to hype her up. So she's like, oh my God, you know, people are thinking she's successful, don't need to order from her. So she's realizing that her whole flaunting, going, oh, I make this and I make that, and whatever sort of show she's putting on today, it's not working for her like the poor me attitude was. And she's gone back to that. But this is basically her way of manipulating people into going onto her posts and spilling crap about the products and whatnot, and really like hyping her up to try and get sales. So instead of needing her team members to do it, she's getting her followers to do it instead.
People are always like, you share so much of your life on Instagram, it's crazy, like, don't you feel weird? I'm like, no, because I feel like most of these people are realer friends than some of my family. Like, y'all have been through it with me over the years, and I just feel I know that there's people that prey on my downfall, and I know that I have haters that watch and they enjoy seeing me upset.
Now, nobody here preys on her downfall and sees her being upset, like likes seeing her upset. I have times where I watch her and she gets really upset, and it makes me sad. But then I've got to remind myself that this is toxic Juliana, and that a lot of these things, she's very nasty to other people. You know what I mean? I've had times before where I'm like, I kind of feel bad for her right now, you know, when the stuff was happening with Brett. Not the first time, but when he was being nasty to her. And I've got to remind myself about the way she treats him as well. You know, none of us want to see her downfall, but we're just sick of watching the lies. Like, I don't like seeing manipulative people that lie about their success and stuff over the internet. And like, I think now she knows, like, she doesn't have us fooled, so she doesn't really try to tell us that she's all successful and everything, but like her followers, she's trying to maintain that. She's trying to maintain that with the little boss babes underneath her, because, you know, if they see that she doesn't actually have the dream that they're all trying to acquire, they're going to fuck off. Because why would you stay with It Works unless you were still hanging on to that hope of being a millionaire like Juliana, who is not a millionaire?
But they make sure they don't say anything. So
what? We say plenty. What are you talking about, girl?
I just feel super comfortable being able to open up to y'all. And then I know that there's a lot of you guys that go through the same shit that I do. You know, like, I know I'm not alone, and I know it's something that a lot of people go through, and we just gotta like grow together through it. But I'm just tired right now.
The biggest issue too with her followers is, you know, she knows that they're always there. They're there to justify everything that she does. And so she goes back to them for that like reinforcement, like this is okay. And these followers, they're so blind. They just love her so much that they don't care what she does. Now, they really do not care what she does. She could probably like murder a baby kitten. People would be like, oh, you do that so well. These people are insane. Okay. But I don't know, like if you guys have all seen it before. When she breaks up with Brett, they're like, keto free, get rid of Brett, like fuck him, like, you know, put him out in his ass. He doesn't deserve you. He's worthless. He's a piece of shit. You know, he's this and that. And then, you know, they get back together and like, oh my God, cutest couple ever. Goals. Like, I want to go to jail too. And she continues to complain about it, but she doesn't take the steps to actually fix it. And I get it. You want to make things work for your kids. But if you're going to want to make things work for your kids, you're just going to have to not speak up. Just let it go and just go about life, because nothing is going to change here. I mean, over the last 5 years, we have seen them do nothing but fight, argue, go back and forth. Their children get subjected to this, and like they're not doing anything. Like Juliana refuses to look at medication, and she admits that she has like bipolar and borderline personality disorder, or maybe she just has plain, I don't know what she has, but she has all of these mental illnesses, but yet she is not seeing a psychiatrist, and you know, she won't go and get medication because she realizes when she's at her lowest point, it's like, oh my God, shit, I probably do need medication, but then she doesn't actually get around to getting it. So then when she's having these manic episodes, she's thinking it's normal and it's okay, and she's allowed to treat people that way. And then when she sees the repercussion, she's like, oh my God, like, you know, maybe I did go about that the wrong way. So, I think, obviously, if Brett is gambling all this money, like she says, he needs counselling as well. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. That's literally the definition of insanity. I don't know. I feel sorry for her in a way because she is stuck. But it's not like she's like the one that's stuck with no money or anything like that. Like, that's Brett. So she can pull off the Band-Aid anytime she wants. Like, she moved into this house and she was like, he's not coming with me. You know, he's since cheated on her. He's done all these things. And, you know, this is a girl that's saying, you know, I'm so strong. I'm a powerful woman and nothing gets in my way. Except for your husband that just walks all over you and apparently steals your money and gambles, and he says all these nasty things to you, and he won't pay his way for his children. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, he did a lot. Like, he wasn't contributing money-wise before, but, like, now he has a job, he needs to contribute. It's just the way it has to be. And so I can understand her frustration. Like, I'd be pissed too. But clearly Brett doesn't give a shit, you know. And they've gone through this over and over so many times. She's so strong and independent. Why is she clutching to this man? Like, she sits there and says any man would want her, you know. But at the end of the day, she's just wasting her time with Brett. Like, I feel like Juliana is not as secure as she claims that she is.
Yep. But I don't know. And like my brother, he's a hot mess in himself. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think my brother's all there anymore. I don't even really know who he is. Like, I think that this last go around with him right before we moved, I think that he did some significant damage to himself because he's just not all there. Like,
oh man. She is like so mean. She's so mean. Like, how can you sit there and be like, oh, my brother's not all there? I mean, you can think this stuff. You can think it, but you don't say it out loud. And you definitely don't say it to 300 people that you do not know on a live. I really feel sorry for Drew. I'd love to get his input one day.
He's a shell of himself. He's mean. He's angry. I had got home from a hair appointment. He was pissing in the hallway on my carpet. Didn't remember anything the next day. Like,
what the fuck? Obviously, people don't just do, like, adults don't usually do that kind of thing unless, one, he is using drugs again, two, he's completely blind drunk, and like still an adult. Like, I get it when you're like a little boy that can't handle their alcohol, but as an adult and you're pissing in the hallway, seriously? I don't know. Or either three, he's just really mad at her. He's like, fuck this, I'm gonna piss on your carpet, because she's mean too.
Yelled at me when I told him to clean it up. It's like I have a 26-year-old child that is very hard to deal with, and then I got to feeling bad the other day, and I was like, well, maybe like mentally he's just suffering, like maybe he's depressed. So I tried talking to him, and I was like, how are you doing mentally? Like, is there anything I can do? Because I start wondering, I know how mental health is. Like, I go through hard shit, and it helps me a lot to, like, have my best friends there to talk me through it, so I try to be that for him. But, like, the boy just doesn't even make sense when he talks half the time, and he's just mean. It's very hard to...
One girl is like, my ex-husband used to do that when he was on heroin. And then another person is like, it's like mourning for someone that's died, but they're still there.
Be around him. So, I don't know what to do with that. He claimed that he was drinking. And I'm like, well, you're not allowed to drink, especially in my house. So he's like, I won't do it again. But I don't know. And then he pissed in my kitchen one morning. Like, y'all, that shit will make you go insane.
Okay, so now she's saying like he pissed in the kitchen one morning as well, but I feel like that was kind of like an add-on. Like, maybe she wasn't getting the response that she needed. I don't understand how you can have all these problems within a family and just never address them. You know, like, you've got your brother who lived with you, he done so much damage to the garage. Like, you guys seen the pictures of the garage. It was trashed when he lived there. She claims it cost her $1,800 to clean it up. But it was absolutely trashed. And then you've got him like running at landlords, according to her, not landlords, real estate agents, and, you know, just acting like a fool. And then she said that she tried to get him Baker acted, and she called the police on him, but then they released him and then he got arrested. But I feel like, I don't know, it's hard. If her parents, she still talks to her parents and everything, but she sits there and she just like degrades them on him. Maybe she just needs to like step away. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, he is your brother, like he is your brother, but if your brother is that far gone, maybe you need to like let him hit rock bottom before you reach out to him again, or like just set some ground rules. Just be like, no, you don't drink in my house, you don't do that. Like, send him outside for the day. You know what I mean? It is your house after all, and you have full control. It's just really worrying because she has the young kids there, and obviously in the past, like, he had a suicide attempt in the past, and from what I read, Cecilia found him, and she was like super young then. So that is really scary. I don't know. And I know her kids are gonna love him, and it's a hard thing because it's a brother, but you have to lay down the law. Like, you can have him live there, but you need to lay down the law, and that is a problem. Is, you know, they bond over these things and their mental health problems, and she just seems to let it go. Because even last time, like, if you remember last time when he got out of jail, like, he was in jail because he was on drugs. You know, he got breathalyzed and he wasn't drinking, but he was off his tree. All right, he was on drugs, and she knew he was on drugs. She went on her live and she said, you know, he was on drugs. He got pulled over because he did something. I think he drove through like a light or something. I can't remember what he did. did something and he got pulled over, and then he resisted arrest, and then he had the hide to get in her car when she bails him out and is like, you know, like, I was arrested, didn't even do anything, like, I didn't even go DUI, like, they tested me and I was fine. But we're like, dude, we know that you didn't go DUI, but you just left out whether or not you got drug tested. Like, were you on drugs? You know, like, and then he was like, I got locked up for this many days for nothing. And she's just sitting there, and you can see in her eyes, she's like, what the fuck have I done? Like, what have I invited back? And you could see it. She was so tired in her eyes, and she was like, oh, and she couldn't even be bothered fighting with him about it. Like, it was like she did not want to talk about it at all. She just was like, whatever, like, I got my brother back. That's all that matters. And she just can't have that. Like, I know, like, she's been dealing with this for so long. And it would be wearing her down, because, like, nobody wants to be responsible for another fucking human that, you know, doesn't really serve a purpose. Like, you know, he's a brother, he serves a purpose, but, like, you know, it's not her direct family anymore. Like, you know, she's got her own kids, she's got a husband and everything, and then you're going to have someone coming in and he's just been there to dry out, and then he comes back and he's not even acknowledging what he did wrong. Like, he's just like, this was not my fault, it has nothing to do with me. And she's sitting there like, fucking hell. You could just see it in her eyes. I felt really bad for her, actually, because it was almost like she immediately knew she made the wrong decision. Like, it's always been the right decision, because you got to look after your brother. Like, I have a brother. I love my brother to death. Like, absolutely love him. So I would struggle with this. But you can see she was like, oh, and I feel like instead of sitting there and just like going, I just don't want to fight this, maybe she just needs to be like, right, you've got a problem, you need to get counselling, you need to do this. If you're going to live under my house, there's no drinking, there's no drugs, you know, whatever. I do feel for her.
And I get up every day and put a smile on my face, and I'm dealing with fucking idiots. He won't go to a mental institution. He won't do anything. Like, I'm literally gonna have to leave my house and move out to be able to get away from him. But, like, he's on probation, so he gets drug tested. Because I was like, you piss in my house other than the toilet one more time? I was like, I'm going to call your fucking probation officer. Does he have access to fake piss? I don't think so, but I don't know. He works full-time too. And doesn't give me a dime. He was telling my mom, I'm going to start giving Juliana $500 a month for rent, or to, like, cover what I eat in groceries. Doesn't give me shit. I tried to get him Baker acted. And the last time I tried, they took him to the hospital, released him, and then he ended up in jail the next day. So I'm like, I'm not paying for rehab again. I'm not paying for shit again.
Pay for his rehab again? You didn't pay for his rehab. Last time he didn't go, and the time before that, you had said that he was found, you know, he tried to kill himself and he was hospitalized. Like, he had to go to the emergency room because obviously he'd overdosed, and then they put him into a thing. So I don't think that she ever actually paid for his rehab. There are so many things here that she claims that she paid for, but she never does. Like, you know, he was driving around with no license. No license, her kids in the car because he had outstanding fines. And she's sitting there going, I'm a millionaire, but she won't pay $1,000 fine for her husband. That makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense at all. All right, so we're at the half-hour mark for this podcast. So I will see you guys in part 4, and in the meantime, I'll catch up with you on TWT 3.0.